Barbados, an island where there is something for everyone. We boast of 365 churches, rum shops in every parish, sandy white beaches, and numerous attractions. But what is an attraction? A study by Tourism Western Australia in 2009 classifies an attraction as a physical or cultural feature of a particular place that individual travelers or tourists perceive as capable of meeting one or more of their specific leisure-related needs. Such features may be ambient in nature, example climate, cultural, vegetation, or scenery, or they may be specific to a location, such as a theater performance, a museum, or a waterfall. According to Roberts et al., there are 4 categories of attractions. The first of these is man-made attractions, non-purpose built. Some examples of these are churches, historic homes or buildings, forts, garrisons, archaeological sites, and monuments. We also have man-made purpose-built attractions, and these are tours and shops, museums, amusement parks, waterfront developments, and adventure tours. We have special events, which include music festivals, sporting events, culinary events, cultural events, and religious events. And a few natural attractions are beaches, caves, reefs, forests, rivers, gullies, and the flora and fauna of our island. Today, our group from the International Tourism class will set out to see some of the challenges faced with running a natural attraction in Barbados. There are many natural attractions on the island, but we have chosen the Welchman Hall Gully. Welchman Hall Gully is located in the picturesque parish of St. Thomas and is 3/4 miles long. It is the home to a number of tropical plants and trees, including but not limited to nutmeg, bamboo, clove, and palms. Welchman Hall Gully was formed by the collapse of roof of caves. Interestingly enough, the gully is also geologically connected to Harrison's Cave. Before Harrison's Cave was developed, locals would enter via an entrance located in the gully. It is also home to many of Barbados's green monkeys. To help answer this question effectively is none other than the manager of Welchman Hall Gully, Ms. Branker.
Can you tell us a little bit about Welchman Hall Gully? First of all, how did it get named?
I believe it was given by the first plantation owner, and he was a Welchman.
Okay.
But that's just rumored. Who knows really how it got the name? But this was part of the Sturgis plantation.
To keep the gully running effectively, Ms. Branker relies on volunteers along with her staff members.
1 full-time gardener, 1 full-time cashier, and then part-time gardener, part-time cashier. So in total there's 5 of us.
Although Welchman Hall Gully has been in existence for over 50 years, Ms. Branker has been running it for the last 10 years.
Welchman Hall is one of the oldest tourist attractions in the island. It's over 50 years that it's been running as a tourist attraction. It's the first property that the Barbados National Trust opened to the public.
The traffic flowing through the gully peaks at different times of the year.
November to April is my high season. That's absolutely where I make most of my income. And then for the next 6 months, I cover my bases. And I don't know, because I have different price ranges for different people and that sort of stuff. But I don't know the exact number, but I go more sales. During peak season, it's tourists. And I had some kids do a survey, and it seems at least 48% of my business actually comes from the UK.
40%?
40% in terms of the tourist population, and then Americans and British, Americans, Canadians, and then others like Germans. But then in off season, I would say the local market definitely, absolutely, I need my local market. And the local market is generally school groups, churches, universities, anybody that comes in. A group is great for the gully.
There are several challenges that affect the running of Welchman Hall Gully, including lack of rain.
It doesn't impact us greatly, but it doesn't help. And the other thing I would say in terms here is vandalism. So you see we have like number plates. Right, see the number 2, like we have number plates and we have them all through the gully. And originally they weren't, some of them weren't bolted in, they were just, and the kids would just come and pick them up and throw them, and throwing rocks at the signs, just pure vandalism, which is costly.
Other challenges include the limited promotion of eco-friendly activities to encourage tourists and locals alike to visit these attractions.
Barbados is not changing. So I find that people do it one way, this way, and they're not trying to expand and make it more interesting and different. It's the same Harrison's Cave, Oistins, Bashaba, the beaches. There's and to try and diversify and try and do more nature-based, try to go more in the interior, more smaller, local, it's lacking.
Ms. Branker has had to supplement her budget by diversifying her product.
It runs on its own as a tourist attraction. So that means people pay at the entrance, they get a booklet, or they get a group comes through, have a guided tour. That's one way. So then I diversified it by offering camps for children, which is very, very, very popular. And then with school groups, I do nature programs. So I do educational tours with schools. And if they want a little extra, we do nature programs, which is like a teacher and I will discuss what they're doing in class. And then we do a hands-on activity at the Gully. Okay. So they stay a little bit longer. And then from the camps came out birthday parties. So that's another way. And I find actually I get quite a few of photography and modeling and that sort of stuff. And I'll ask for just a donation. And so I've been used, quite a few people come through for that.
Okay. How do you differentiate this property from, say, like Harrison Cave or whatever? How do you get visitors to come here? Okay. What's your marketing plan?
It's because I do not have the marketing budget of Harrison's Cave or any of those larger places. And I have to tell you, marketing in Barbados is outrageously expensive. Like, okay, just give you an example. On a magazine like Barbados in a Nutshell. Is it Barbados? Yeah, Barbados in a Nutshell. For a full page, it's like over $5,000. Over $5,000. So I do a little tiny ad in the little books. That's $2,500 for a quarter of a page. $2,500. So that's just one magazine. Okay. So marketing is I have to say, is quite challenging. So my strategy has been, I target magazines and different locations where I know that people who want to come to a place like this will look. So I don't do a general for everybody and hopefully they'll look. I really do target my audience. So that's why people who've come here from before and they say, I just bumped into this. How come you didn't advertise? I said, I do, but it's not, I don't do a mass advertising. So, and I have a website and then TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor is a good one, that's free. TripAdvisor is huge. If you ask, I would say about 50% of the people I ask, oh, you hear about the Gully? Oh, it's on TripAdvisor. So marketing is a really funny thing. I just do not have the expense. And if someone asks me about marketing, we'd like to market in this magazine, I say, well, how much it is? Okay, let me figure this out. So that means I would need to pull in this amount of people on a daily rate just to cover my costs. Because I cannot afford to invest in marketing if I know I can't get a return. So it's a tricky little thing, and then so I can't expand because it's too much for a small business.
I think the supermarkets have so much, and the farmers have so much old bananas which they cannot sell anymore, which the monkeys will be happy for, and the monkeys is for tourist people a real, how you can say that,
it's an asset.
An asset for her.
Yeah.
And a place like this is so expensive to keep. It's so time consuming. And if she was not the personality she is, right, she's bringing in volunteers to work here. I know a lot of them myself already, who working here for months, free of charge, pay their own flight, their own accommodation. And I think that nothing better could have happened to Barbados and Welchman Gully than this lady.
Oh, thank you.
Finally, what would you do differently if you had to do it all over again? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. No, it is. Everything has gone very, very well. Yeah, it's because I have the philosophy that if you have it in your head what you want and ask for it, it will come.
Okay.
I know it sounds weird, but it does.
Some of the challenges outlined by Ms. Branker are vandalism, cost of marketing and advertising, and the lack of rainfall within the gully. In concluding, Welchman Hall Gully has the potential to be a viable tourist attraction. The major challenge faced is the generation of traffic to make it an economical, sustainable venture. A few recommendations would be to try to partner with a few of the larger natural attractions. An example of this can be seen with Harrison's Cave. They can offer package tours of both facilities. They can also target cruise ship passengers who generally pre-book and would not usually venture the island on their own. We would also recommend using social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as these sites are very popular and offer relatively cheap advertising. Another recommendation would be to form relationships with taxi drivers and even offer a small incentive when they bring guests to the Welchman Hall Gully. By trying some of these recommendations, we think that Welchman Hall Gully would be on the path to become a more profitable venture.